Okay, go back to the part where I finally decided that.
You decided what?
I finally decided that if I'm going to use this thing.
Oh, if I'm going to use it, I need to use it. So I did, and I used it a couple times. But, you know, in reality, if I needed to use it, I probably should have found somebody with one and just borrowed it. Now I got this really nice looking saw.
You know, now that you brought that up.
That I don't use very often.
That
now,
makes...
The thought is I'm going to use it again someday, and I may. You know, it's sitting there. I can use it anytime I want.
Yeah.
Now, I have bought a car polisher for, like, if you put your expensive wax on your car, you can use this thing to kind of polish it down, and it's electric. And I didn't spend a lot of money for it. I bought it at Harbor Freight, so you know you get what you pay for there. But you know, I thought I'm going to use that. Well, I bought that about 3 years ago, and it's still sitting in the box on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I've opened it and looked at it, and went, yeah, I'm going to use that. And that's as far as I've gotten with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I tell you that story to tell you this story. A buddy of mine, Josh West, we grew up together, and he's sitting over at my house one day, and we're talking about how sometimes you buy tools that you never really get around to using.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts laughing hysterically, and he's like, so I had to have a table saw. And right then, Dolores comes around the corner, and she's like, keep going. And he's like, what? I don't get it. So he started telling his story about how he convinced his wife he had to have a table saw. Yeah. And he said he had it 3 years ago. He started to put it together. The instructions were difficult, and he put it aside and thought, I'll get back to it later. He goes, my wife still doesn't know how to put it back together. He said, to be honest, if I wanted to put it together now, I've probably lost all of the parts.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you said something about if I really needed one, I could borrow one. I mean, I'm thinking about, here I am, I have this rat rod in my garage. Just taking up space, needs me to do some slight repair to get it going. And if I needed one, I could borrow one.
Yeah, Dale's got one ready
here's
for you.
Here's one right here sitting in my yard on loan.
He's like, drive it.
I could drive his car.
Yeah.
Huh. What a concept.
Once he gets his pinstripe, he's going to want you to go play with him.
Yeah, well, no.
He's going to be like, let's go. And he'll be like, I didn't get around to working on mine.
Well, you know, I'm not minding doing this job. I just don't want to do it while you're here.
I know.
Because I don't want you to learn the secrets.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
And sometimes the secret is I don't know what I'm doing until I'm doing it, and I really don't want to figure it out while you're sitting here.
And sometimes
you're looking at me like I'm supposed to be Yoda and have all the answers. And I don't have the answers. I'm making this crap as I go along.
Well, that sums up a lot of my secrets right there.
I have that discussion with Jacob every now and then. He's like, "How'd you figure that out?" I have no idea. Or we're learning together, buddy.
So I think we should find a dog and hook him to that, and you sit in there and let him pull you around the yard.
I don't think Charlie's gonna be able to pull this with
No,
me.
I'm not. I'm talking about bigger dog.
Like the Great Dane next door.
Yeah, the Great Dane next door. He likes to
Greyhound or whatever he is.
That could have some possibilities, couldn't it?
What would be your break?
Brakes?
I mean...
Brakes? Really? You're gonna bring up brakes?
We could have a stuffed squirrel that we like twirl around in front of it and go this way, stop, and you pull it back. And
that's an idea. A squirrel on a string.
Squirrel on a string.
So you just
then you gotta
do it this way. You
gotta ask yourself if you're gonna have a live squirrel or a fake squirrel, and then you gotta get PETA involved if it's a live squirrel. And if it's a fake squirrel, did you get a squirrel that you killed and stuffed, or are you gonna find one on the side of the road and then pretend it's a real squirrel? And is he gonna chase the fake squirrel?
See, that's the whole problem with this day. Is every time I think of doing something, I think of all the problematic reasons not to do something.
Most people think about other stuff.
Yeah.
This is how my brain's wired. I mean, you know. Dolores is like, really? That's what you think about all day? I'm like, no, not all day. I got a lot of other thoughts. But that's why I ride around with the radio off. Mm-hmm. So I can think about all those thoughts. Mm-hmm.